All right, welcome back to the shop. Today I am upgrading my GBR with a new ESC. As I mentioned in a previous video on this project, the old ESC is just tired. It's worn out. And this ESC, well, she's new on the block. And I'm excited to try it because number one, 120 amp capacity. Number two, small form factor. And number three, all the data. So yeah, that's the cool part about this is that it outputs telemetry data in multiple different formats for you. Now, a little bit of background on this. It's my understanding that the ESCape32 firmware was developed originally for crawlers, for RC crawlers, uh, particularly ones that use brushless motors where they need really fine control, like low end control of the motor. And obviously, this is done without sensors. So it uses some really great proprietary firmware that my understanding is that it is just really great control. I've seen really great things written about this. I've seen really great videos posted about this. I have a friend, Logan. Thank you for your input on this. Logan's been pushing this same 120 amp ESC well to 120 amps, and he's not had a single issue, despite how small this thing is. Just make sure it's got good cooling. So I'm going to take you off my face and show you what this thing looks like and show you a number of things that I had to go through to get this thing to work. So right off the bat, here's the old ESC, 80 amp ESC from FreeSky, their original ESC, and for size comparison, here it is next to the 120 amp ESC. It's physically smaller. It's kind of wild. Now, with that, the way that it came in the package, it was fully enclosed in this shrink wrap. So I wanted to cut some of this away so that these cooling fins would be exposed. Obviously, you want to get some of that heat out of there. But additionally, I had to modify this ESC, and by modify, I mean add to it. So inside here, that yellow wire, there is a pad there, and that is for your telemetry output. I had to solder that in for my smart port telemetry. Now, whether you're using KISS or any of the other protocols included in this firmware, that's what you have to do. Additionally, I have 6-volt servos in this plane, and while the firmware may indicate otherwise, I did have to solder this little pad here, if it'll focus. Yeah, this little pad here in order to change to 6 volts. And then there's a 7 volt and then a 12 volt options, or 7.4 and 12. So that is how you change the voltage of the BEC. I picked up the 10 amp BEC version, so I have plenty of current for this model. It's basic 5-channel or 4-channel model, but I've got 2 elevators that are on a mix, as well as 2 ailerons, and then of course rudder. So more than enough power. But aside from the physical stuff, it did include 2 extra heat shrinks because it does anticipate you needing to do some of these things. So good on them. The manual is a QR code, which is also really nice and handy. And then it comes to, how do you program this sucker? Well, this thing. Now, if you're an old guy on the electric airplane scene like I am, this is like wizardry. Long gone are the days of listening to beeps and following a printout manual that you pray you never lose. So with this stupid little thing, this is a Wi-Fi connector. Okay. So there's no app, there's no special software that you need to download at all. Essentially what you do is you take the lead, the main lead, the throttle lead, you'd connect it to the throttle channel on your receiver, and you plug that into these little pins. Okay. There is a USB port. You don't need that unless you're going to upgrade the software inside this thing, which you don't need to. Yeah, so you just plug this into the throttle channel and then you power it on. So let me demonstrate that. All right, so I've got a servo extension here. So I'll just unplug that. Here there is a signal plus minus, so obviously you correlate that to what's on here. And then you have your battery, and it's hooked up to the motor already. The 3 wires are hooked up to the motor, and you have beeps. From here, we got to go over here. All right, so what's convenient is that while you can connect this doodad to your phone, I am old school and I like to connect by my computer, my laptop, while I'm here in the shop. And what you do is you just disconnect from your home network and you say, okay, I want to connect to this ESCape32 Wi-Fi link. Connect. And then it automatically brings up a browser with all of your settings. Now, that being said, in my case, out of the box, my firmware on it was revision 13.5, and that 13.5 was not compatible with my FreeSky SR10 receiver. So I had to do a firmware update. Now, because I'm a kind of a software dummy, downloading it on my phone and uploading it from here was kind of a challenge. And so that's why I resorted to just going with what I know on my computer, where you can download the file from the GitHub source. And in that case, it was just this bin file. It's very small, 26 kilobyte file. And you select it and then you update it. Okay. And that's it. That's it. Protection. Protection is off, bootloader full. Full protection, you set it, you can't change anything in the settings. Okay, so just leave the protection alone unless you want to absolutely lock down all of your settings in here, but honestly, you can go back. All right. And that's the other thing. Like if you go back to this page, it makes different tones. All right. So yeah, some of these things you can read about on default settings. Obviously, you want to keep throttle calibration set. Duty lock. I unchecked this because this is like having a brake. It will have a physical brake on the motor. And obviously, I want active freewheeling on this. And you can adjust some of that if you want to have a brake. Whether the duty or the drag or the ramp, like all of these settings you can play with, that's on you. But I opted to turn mine off so that it operates just like any other electric plane would. Obviously, you can check your throttle mode, forward, reverse. This had forward brake. I just forward, no forward and reverse, no forward brake and reverse, just straight up forward. And all of the automatic stuff is done. And all the other settings, honestly, were all fine. Telemetry mode. So here's your different modes. You've got KISS, KISS Auto, iBus, SmartPort, and CRSF. I have a FreeSky system, and so I use SmartPort, and so that's what I set it to. I do want to use the motor telemetry, so I made sure to count and correct my number of poles on my motor. My motor has 12 poles. Default, it was set at 14. So make sure that you change that if you want your RPM to be accurate. Also, protection. These are all your protections. Your protection sensor is on the ESC for temperature. I guess there's a provision in the software so that if there's hardware to have a motor temperature sensor, you can select that. But ESC temperature is exactly what we want, and we can change that temperature threshold if we want to. All right. Also, you can program the sounds if you'd like as well. There are different LED options if you don't want just a standard red or green or whatever. And then here's the drop down for the BEC voltage, which doesn't work. It doesn't work for me on this particular implementation. I had to do the solder pads. But obviously, we're giving exact voltage here as well as temperature. And all the other stuff can be done in your radio to program this, but that is how you interface with this. It's all digital and it's very straightforward, out of the box, easy to connect. So back over on the bench now, we have our transmitter fired up and we have our connection reestablished back to the receiver, and we can go ahead and plug in. Now I did make some extensions. I'm using these shrink tube that has solder built in, and I'm using a heat gun to melt that solder. Works really well for these kinds of extensions. Some people say, oh, don't do that, you gotta... I've used this on many, many models. I'm not afraid to do it. So yeah, I hate naysayers who don't really know anything about practical applications. So we're going to go ahead and plug this in, and I'll show you how things look on the radio. We have a pretty light that's like kind of white, pretty bright. That's how I had it programmed. That way I know it's working. And if my mounting position is going to be like this. And so if I peek through the hole, I can verify that the ESC is functioning properly. So that's why I have it nice and bright. And then in terms of being on here, everything's working on the plane, obviously. But then we can verify that our throttle is moving in the right direction. And of course it's not. So, like any other motor, you can either go into the programming of the ESC, or in my case, I'm just going to swap two wires. Two wires swapped. Very good. And look how slow you can make this rotate. That's crazy. That's crazy slow. Neat. Anyway. Neat. All right, so throttle hold back on, and so now we have to plug in the magic wire. This is the magic wire. I'm going to run it through the plane and plug it in to one of the channels on my TD SR10 receiver. All right, looking right down there, you can see I'm plugged into channel 8 of my TD SR10. And it goes up to the firewall and comes out. All right, going into our settings, we have the telemetry screen, which we need to go into. I had telemetry before, but these are new sensors. So we are going to delete all of the sensors. And now we have a fresh slate. And now we're going to go on. And we have receiver battery, which is showing our 6 volts, which we want, which is perfect. We have all of the accelerometer data, 900 current. Okay, so here we go. Current, temperature 1, more angle sensor, attitude, RPM. So let's turn the motor.
Throttle release.
112 RPM, 110 RPM. Pretty cool. 4100 on a 3-cell. Nice. So this airplane flies on a 6-cell. We're in the right territory. So we've set up our number of poles correctly, and we're reporting the right number of RPM. That's fantastic news. So we have all of that stuff. And now we can go into this screen and we can configure a widget. We want a value of a telemetry value, and we can put the RPM. And take the safety off. So now we have our RPM displayed. And we can do the same thing with our current, as well as a calculated current remaining if you want to set that programming up. The temperature of the ESC, you can monitor that as well. And you can also use some of the really clever special functions and digital switches to set warnings. Like if you get to a certain temperature, have the radio warn you that the ESC is getting hot. Those kinds of things are helpful, particularly when you're testing out a new piece of hardware or just trying to monitor the airplane when it's in flight. You don't have to look at a screen. You can set up an audio program for you to keep track of some of these things. It's a really nice part about telemetry is it really helps take a lot of the pilot load and the worry out of your flight. Great. So everything is tied down. We've got a nice solid connection here for the ESC, held down by a cable tie. I've got my excess wires all looped around so they don't get tangled in the motor at all. And power leads run up into the battery compartment. We're all set here. The last thing we need to do is take our Wi-Fi linker and put it in our screw box for our model in case we need to make any adjustments later. So that's it. All I have to do is finish taking care of this model, getting it put together and programmed, and go fly it. And I can enjoy it again, and definitely know that the additional capacity will help. Now, keep in mind that I do have plenty of cooling capacity on this. There are lots of holes in the dummy radial that go into this area and then exit all the way around the outside of the cowl. There's plenty of exit air, so this place gets plenty of cooling. I'm not worried about it overheating, but I can at least monitor the temperature and certainly look at the data logs as well. Nice thing about my radio is it can record data logs, and I can look at it in the field and say, yep, maybe I need to do something about cooling. But until next time, make sure you're going out and checking out all the new hardware that is coming out, because there's some really cool stuff out there, and continue working on your flying works of art.